try to go, and I'm less knowledgeable on the caster side, but with almost any character, I typically try to get to perception 15 first, and then go to something else. You know, whatever my main stat is. So my initial thought, and anybody in the chat, if you've got a different perspective, jump in. But typically, I'll go like perception to 15, and then for this character, because he's a caster, we'll probably do willpower to 15 after that. Let's see. And then we also now have another ability we can get. So once again, I want to continue getting kind of active abilities. So we've got a couple of options. Here's our passives. I'll typically go for Ring of Fire because that's going to help us, because inevitably at low level you're going to probably end up in melee with people, and it's just a lot of fun. So this is when we, I think, start to like potentially set people on fire and immolate them, which is just good fun for everyone except that person. So let's pick that up. So our perception here, that's going to help with our accuracy. Is that, now guys, correct me if I'm wrong, does accuracy affects the accuracy of a spell that you're casting, right? Like Fire Barrage? I think that that's the case. Because there isn't like a spell accuracy or anything like that, so... And then we want to be, as you're going, lowering your chance of backfire and that kind of stuff. So I forget if there's an ability that lowers your backfire chance. Yeah, there we go. Agility. So agility may or may not be important too. I don't know if there's a lot of... there may be enough gear at a certain point where your backfire chance gets really low. But it looks like agility will probably have some importance for us too. All right, but I'm going to start with perception, and then we're going to make our way back. So we've got our next level. We're still looking pretty good as far as morale and sanity goes. But like I said, you always want to stay on top of it. So just because we're at like 98%, doesn't mean we can just forget about it. It's definitely something you got to kind of keep in the back of your mind all the time. But we're gonna do some basic stuff that'll pretty much keep us up there, with the exception of when you get into like some of the dungeons later on that will have certain conditions that'll like really negatively affect it. Just taking a look to see. All right, so like this peasant flail's not broken. It's not gonna be worth a lot of money, but worth a couple bucks. All right, where is that moose? If you get a chance, you can look at my clips for moose assassination. But we've got a history with mooses, and it's not a good one. All right, so I'm basically going to make my way back to town. And I try and stay on the roads, especially until I get the survival ability Pathfinder. That's the one I told you about earlier that kind of you can see further, but you can also hear creatures, and so you'll know if something's nearby, like the aforementioned moose, which can get pretty ugly. Let's grab that. So there's a side thing you can kind of do. Once again, just grabbing some more water, topping off my water skin. You can break into here if you've got the lockpicks. I wouldn't recommend it with the crowbar because this guy might hear you. But I would not do it when this dude's around because I've gotten caught a couple times even using lockpicks. And there's some items in there that are worth some serious cash. You just got to be sneaky. That's kind of the outside the purview of this this video, but it can be worthwhile as long as you're smart about it. All right, no beer, or excuse me, no meat here other than, like a full meal. But this is the room that you could get into. There's a number of pelts, claw traps, all kinds of stuff. Hey, how's it going, dog? It's dog. I was looking at my analytics, and hilariously, the moose butt emote is the #1 emote used on my stream, which I am totally okay with. Yeah. Arna two-handed sword is still alive. We're just doing like a tutorial video looking at some of the kind of like starting off on the right foot and talking about some of the morale and sanity implications and stuff like that. So once again, I'll kind of check out, see what we got here for rumors. Because you'll end up getting something oftentimes that'll give you like a location you can check out. Of course, we're striking out here though at the moment. Let's see what we got here. Nothing. Let's see if he's got anything. Nope. All right. I usually don't stay here, but you can if you want. I'm not sure how much it costs. Okay, same price as Osbrook, so. But I'll basically just make my way back up to Osbrook. And then we're getting, 8% fatigue, so we'll head back there and just get a room for the night. And we're not like super tired, so I'm gonna probably walk around and try and get that spearmint to finish up the task for the herbalist guy. So we'll just walk around town. It's actually coming back towards morning now, so but it doesn't matter. We'll get an in room when we want. So I'll just do a circuit around the edge of the town here. Let's see. You might find something else useful too, like lentils or whatever. No spearmint. My kingdom for some spearmint. And we can... Hang on. Yep. Yeah, in fact, the Woodsman Inn did have salt there, so, yep. Harvest. Let's get that leek. Always be thinking with your stomach, like... Pick up ingredients that you can chow down on. Alright, I'm not seeing any spearmint here, so what we'll do is just go over to the next map here and kind of poke around a bit. And within like a map or two, you'll certainly be able to find some. So also be careful too, because you're going to run into bandits as well. Depending on if you're role-playing a character as a scumbag or a good person, you can mark graves for later digging up. Another thing to be aware of, too, is when you're out in the fields here, to use examine surroundings every several steps, because, there's our spearmint. One of the worst things is to die to a snake at like low level. So it's a low chance. There's like maybe one or two per map or something, but like the number of times I've gotten lazy and forgotten about it and then just immediately died, it's greater than 0. All right, so 2 things you want to do here now. We've got the carpenter quest done. Well, quest. We found we found his plane sitting on the ground. All right, so you go talk to him. He hooks you up with some cash and booze. But another thing you want to talk to him about is because he makes a mention that the elder, basically the mayor of the town, is kind of a jerk. So you want to ask him about it. And this is setting you up for later. So you're all good there. That's fine. Check and see if he's got any. That's funny. I heard he hired a mercenary. Yeah, that's gonna be me. So, all right. Oops. I need my mead, buddy. Get out of the way. Get out. Get off my mead. There we go. There we go. All right, and let's go turn in our task with Creepy Santa. He's just mouth breathing and everything. All right, I finished your task. Now you get a couple extra healing salves, which is nice, especially as a lightly armored character like we are. It's going to come in useful. And while we're on the topic here, as far as like medical supplies, as you're just starting out, make sure you got at least 1 splint. Make sure you've got a couple of bandages. Make sure you get a couple of healing salves. Other things that are going to be really helpful is herbal extract. I'll usually grab one of these, especially if I'm lightly armored, because those are... The problem with that is, right, when you get to a certain threshold in pain, not only does it make you less effective in a fight, it also starts lowering your morale and sanity. And yep, exactly. Yeah, your best bet is 2 splints. 100% agreed, dog. Especially as a lightly armored person. And these things are what are going to get you out of that and kind of keep you from circling the drain as far as both fighting effectiveness goes, morale, sanity, and then also just like not dying. That's what they say. That's what they say, Naz. Maybe existentially, but let me see. I don't know if the merchants have refreshed yet, but I'll come through. You can do some crafting of various things, but typically I just try and sell some crap like these extra weapons. We don't sell the swords though. We need 1 more, and then we can turn it into the blacksmith. And what I just did actually, selling the nails to this guy, sell anything metal to the blacksmith. He's going to give you a better price. So I was only like half paying attention there. The other thing is just stay on top of making sure your stuff is repaired. We've got 113 gold. It's not going to be a ton, but make sure it's in good shape. And so once we've kind of like gotten ourselves squared away, see, like 78 gold right there. That's going to be a lot. So look, that's going to take all we have left. So make sure you have enough coin left so that we can rent a room for the night. Because that's going to be necessary. So we'll hold off on that at the moment. I don't think I have anything else to sell. Oh, we can sell the booze. I typically don't utilize too much in the way of alcohol for like pain and stuff. It's just not very helpful. Or it comes at quite a cost. Oh, this is from the support pack, this one, and then the Hired Blade cowl. It's that one I think it's from